So guys, another day, another video. Today I have the Soundcore C40i's. Now I honestly wasn't expecting this when the company sent it. As you already know, I'm a real advocate for the Soundcore C30i's because I like the clip design. I thought it was pretty good. But this one right here does some improvements that the other one basically failed at, which was this has a physical button that you press rather than touch controls, which I really appreciate that. And they did upgrade how the design looks. So don't worry, there will be a video comparing the two after this unboxing, of course. So let's talk some specifications real fast. This does come with the attachable ear grips that you see right here, which I'm going to show you during the unboxing. You get a 7-hour battery life, which I believe is lower than the C30i's, and you get a total of 21 hours when you add this with the case. So basically 14 hours in the case, 7 hours with the buds themselves. These are IPX4. You have 12mm by 17mm drivers, so I think they're the box drivers if I'm correct. Button controls, AI enhanced calls, case-free pairing, which means you can just flip the case open and it'll automatically pair, or then you can sync it to your device. Multi-point connection. This is always important for people out there that want to use one device for multiple devices. You have IPX4 water resistance, and that's pretty much it for right now. And it does have a plethora of other features like the equalizer and things like that, but we're going to go over all of those different sections. Anyway, this seems like a pretty solid product so far since I've been using it, and we're going to talk about some of the good and some of the bad, which the bad isn't really bad at all, but it's some things you need to be aware of before purchasing this. Now, with that being said, let's get into this review. Now, and I did already use this, of course, but just for video purposes, I'm just going to go ahead and slide this box to the side. You're going to find these buds. Of course, it's going to be inside this plastic layer right here. And when you open them up, these are the C40i's right here, which I was a little surprised. I wasn't sure if these were a little bit bigger than the original, but I do need to do a little size comparison. But the right side has the little right symbol right here, as you can see. There you go. And then the left side has the left symbol, and of course, that is also still on the case itself. Now, it does have USB-C in the back, as you can see. That was so corny, but I'm going to leave that in the video. And this button down here doubles down as how you actually reset the buds. Worst case scenario, if it doesn't sync to the left or the right bud doesn't sync. Now, I'm just going to put this to the side for right now to show you what actually comes inside of it. So right here, you have your actual ear grip attachments, as you can see. And these clip on to the back of the actual earbud itself, which I'll show you guys in the next section. And that's how it's supposed to actually make it smaller so it's easier to fit on your ear. Now, what I notice about these buds is that they do feel like they slip on easier than the original ones, in my opinion. Not that the original C30i's were bad in terms of fit, but it did feel, some people felt as if it pinched the ear too closely. And I believe they paid attention to the C40i's because I don't feel any of that fatigue whatsoever. But I do feel like the earbud is a little bit looser than the previous model, I'm about to say last year's model, and they both came out this year. Now, outside of that, you do also have a USB-C cable right here, which is a pretty short cable. I'm not sure exactly how long it is because I haven't unraveled it up until now, and I have so many USB-Cs at home. But I would say it's probably about 4 to 5 inches or so, the USB-C cable. It is nice to have a shorter one for people that want to carry multiple cables. But worst case, if you have a USB-C device that you use to charge your phone, you can just go ahead and use that to charge your headset. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put this to the side, and let's take a look at this. So it just doesn't have wireless charging. That's a feature that I was hoping that it would actually add wireless charging to this, but it doesn't. It looks like the output right here says about 5 volts. I don't know if you guys can see that right here, but so far these actually work very well for me. I like them. I like the upgrade. I don't feel like these are pinching my ears like I mentioned earlier. I feel like they actually fit a whole lot better in my ear also than the original C30i's. And the best part about this, and this is the reason why I'm not a huge fan of touch controls, I prefer physical buttons if possible. And this right here is a physical button that you can actually press, and it's pretty good. And granted, it still doesn't have much flexibility right here, but as you can see, it is a little bit flexible. But you should be able to put this on your earlobe without actually bending it this way, and I don't really suggest that because you might accidentally snap it, because I'm sure there's electronics going through the earbud itself. But so far, I do like the way they look. I like the way they feel. This is a very nice looking headset. To be honest, compared to the C30Is, I do want to say that these seem a lot more premium. Like, look at this, the microphones. You have one in the inside right here, it looks like. I don't know if you guys can see that part right here where my thumb is, my right thumb. But it looks pretty nice. They're pretty good. And again, I've been using them for a little bit, so I'm not surprised about the design anymore. I think the color is pretty nice. It looks more like a gray than it does a solid black. But at the end of the day, for a person out there that does jobs they have longer hair or wear winter hats and things like that, you could actually hide this in your ear and still be able to listen to your music or listen to your podcast while you're at work. Not saying that you should, don't break the rules, but at least the option is available. But anyway, with that being said, I'm going to show you guys how to sync this to the actual phone. So these right here are the attachable ear grips, and I do actually have the buds in my ear, but I'm going to take one out and show you how to actually connect it. So you have two sizes. You have large and you have mediums. Now for the people out there that are used to the C30Is, if you do decide to upgrade to the C40Is, with the mediums, it feels like you're wearing the C30Is again in terms of firmness of grip. Personally, I don't use any type of ear grip whatsoever because I want maximum comfort for the longest time, but you will need to try these out eventually depending on how your ear shape is. Now, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and just take one out. We only need one for this part of the video right here, as you can see. This is the medium. Matter of fact, let me just show you the large anyway, just so you can see the size difference. Let me not be lazy about that. So the medium and the large is definitely a size difference. You may not be able to tell initially from looking at this, but there is definitely a noticeable size difference. Whoops, that fell a little bit. And I'm going to put the larges back. And for now, let's just do the medium. So right here, I have the right bud. Now, in order to put this on, believe it or not, there's actually a scanner QR code right here that will show you how to do that. But for video purposes, I know a lot of people don't feel like scanning anything. I'll just show you. So you're going to, this is the way the earbud sits on the outside of your ear. So when you place it on your ear, it's like this. You're going to hold this bud like so. You're going to take this medium part. It's not going to fit like that. It's actually going to fit the opposite way in the inside. And we're just going to place this inside like so. And bam, there you go. So the contacts are always shown. You can actually leave this on and still place it inside the case. So that's why it's made that way. And this is how it is. Very simple, very easy. And if you want to take it off, all you got to do is just kind of just remove it. Now I want to show you one more time for the people that may have not been paying attention to this. You're going to take this earbud out. The inside guts is going to face this way. Make sure it's facing this way. Make sure the earbud is facing this way where the round button is. You're going to place this in the inside. You're going to just fit that into the groove. I know I suck at this right here, but let me just do that real fast. There we go. And boom, you are good to go. So right now you have the medium side on here, and it fits more so like the C30Is, in my opinion, with a more snug fit. But for the person out there that felt like the C30i was too tight, then I don't suggest using this. Just use it as is and you should be perfectly fine, but still test it out to make sure that it's to your liking. So with that being said, that is how you put the attachable ear grips on. So the sync process is very simple. All you have to do is flip the case open. What's going to happen is that the left and the right bud is going to simultaneously sync to one another, because right now, I believe it's actually in sync mode as we're speaking. So I'm going to take this old phone. Remember this guy right here, the blue phone? I actually hold on to it, believe it or not. I'm going to swipe this up and go to the Bluetooth settings. Where are we? That's it, battery. Meant to hit Bluetooth. Here we are, Bluetooth. I want to press pair new. Give it some time to search. It says C40i right here. Now, just in case you're wondering, for the people out there that are Apple users, you'll go through the same process of syncing. Though when you tap the Soundcore, it's going to sync automatically. It's not going to ask you about contacts and call history. You don't have to do this. If you feel like it's too much information for the earbuds to have, then just press pair and don't tap that, and you're good to go. That is how you pair it. You should have no problems whatsoever. Now, on an off chance that you do have an issue pairing this, or one bud is synced and the other bud isn't, you may have to physically hold this button on the back to reset the case and the buds while they're inside of it, and then repair them, and it should be good to go. So the syncing process is done, and now I'm going to show you guys how to do the multipoint. You're going to pop this back open, and I'm going to let you guys see that this is actually still connected to this device. I'm going to go to the Soundcore application. Just give it a moment to load. This is an older phone. I should have probably used my wife's iPhone for this video, but it's okay. Add device. It's going to search it. Right now, it's currently connected. So here we go. Soundcore C40Is. Now, For anyone wondering, you may need to do a software update initially when you get these buds, but outside of that, you're good to go. And I'll show you this section in a little bit when we go over the actual Soundcore application. But right here, you have dual connection. I'm going to tap it. Now, as you can see, my history is that it's attached to the Motorola Buds, but right now it's currently connected to the Mini 2023. I'm going to press this button. It's going to say, I don't know if you can see that in the video, it says connect new device. I'm going to tap that. Here we are. It's going to automatically put these buds back into syncing mode. When you see that pairing, it means it's back in syncing mode. So while this is doing this, we're going to go into the Nintendo Switch. I'm going to show you guys something. All right. I'm currently in the game right now. I'm going to hit the home button, go to the settings for the Nintendo Switch, Bluetooth, and we're going to press pair device. It's going to automatically put itself in pairing mode. Well, the headset's already in pairing mode, I'm sorry. It's actually searching for it right now, so give it a second. It is a Nintendo Switch, so the technology is definitely last gen. But it should actually find the C40i's in a moment. So I'll just give it a second while it's doing that. There we go. C40i's. I'm going to go ahead and tap it and wait for it to connect. And boom, as you can see at the top corner, it says C40i. So these are in fact connected to the Nintendo Switch, and it is currently connected to this device right here. So we're going to go back over to where it says dual connections. And as you can see, it's currently connected to the Nintendo Switch at the very moment. And if I play any sound or audio, it's going to automatically switch over to the Studio Minis 2023. Now, for the people out there wondering how many devices it can connect at the same time, you can press connect new devices many times, not as many times as you want to. I did it about 4 to 5 times so far. I haven't tested the limits. But the point is that only 2 devices can switch between multipoint at a time. So while you're using a Soundcore application, guess what? You got to highlight the one that you want to use through multipoint. And that's the only downside, but it's perfectly fine. At some point, multipoint will probably have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 devices at the same time. But for right now, it does dual connections, and follow this prompt right here. And you should not have any problems whatsoever with syncing your devices in the future. Let me get this out of here with that glare. Let's talk about the fit and feel of these earbuds. I love the way they fit. As a matter of fact, they feel a lot looser than the previous model, the C40i's. Now, for some people, you may actually end up using the rubber, the plastic clips that go onto these headphones, because the size difference is a size difference. Granted, I do have a video coming up shortly with the C30i's versus the P40i's, and I'm going to show you the subtle differences of how just slight design changes can help or hinder a headset. And I can honestly say that the changes they made when it comes to comfort with these, it's astronomically different. I can wear these for the entire cycle of the earbuds and not feel any soreness whatsoever. The C30i's used to pinch the ear right here, while these don't actually do that. So that's a good thing. I do want to also say that in this particular part of this video, I am using the P40i's in my ear, so the audio that you're hearing, the recording, comes from this. Now, if you're in a quiet area, this is how your recordings are going to sound, and I'm going to go outside so I can simulate how it's going to sound outside with traffic and a lot more noise, so just stay tuned for that part. Alright guys, so this is downtown Philadelphia. I'm talking to you guys on the buds, as you can see inside the ear. So again, the audio is coming out of the earbuds themselves, and you see the traffic going past. I figured this is a good way to simulate for the person that actually wants to record with these buds or use them in different locations, how good the sound is going to be. Man, playing tractor trailers and Coca-Cola trucks and stuff out here, it's crazy. But anyway, the point is that I don't know how this sound sample is going to be until I actually stop this part of the video and listen to it. So I'm not sure how much background noise these are picking up, but I do want to just signify to anyone out there that's used to the Soundcore headphones that might have wind reduction or the active noise cancellation. These buds aren't for that reason. It's for maximum comfort. It's for open ear design, so you can hear the conversations, people near you, and everything that you're supposed to be able to hear. And outside of that, you know, it's like more of a, I guess you could say more of like a luxury relaxing bud. I love these things personally. I use them at work, behind my desk, at home, sitting on my computer desk, walking around, shopping, just everyday usage. And I normally have the buds that have the active noise cancellation and features like that for, well, obviously toning out all the sound around me. But I think I've recorded enough. So for the people out there, you got enough outside noise to simulate how it's going to sound if you do any form of recording or conversation outside. So let's talk about the actual app features for the Soundcore app. Like every video that I do, my suggestion is to register for this application. It's absolutely free, but if you choose to skip it and not do that, it's still going to take you to the main screen, so you're good to go. So the first thing you're going to notice is the battery meter, and I appreciate that Soundcore did this. I'm assuming they listened to a lot of the videos that reviewers have done over the years, and they decided to update it. So the C40i's, if you're using the application, you can see how charged the headset is, and you can see how charged the case is. My case is at 30%, so obviously I need to throw it on the charger eventually, but for right now, at least it's right there. You also have sound effects right here. For the people that can't see, let me kind of put this a little bit closer. You have Soundcore Signature, which is what I normally leave it on. You have bass, you have volume booster, surround sound, and then you have your custom EQs, which if you tap into this, you're actually able to manually, change the EQ settings to whatever it is that you want. Now, that prompt that popped up just said that if I log into it, you can save your customized EQs. But for right now, I don't really need to do that. I'm just going to leave it as is. And that's it for the, actually, you know what? Let me just double check to make sure that there is no other. Yep, so there's no other sound profiles, which is a little bit surprising. Soundcores normally have like the bass boost, bass reducer, tremble, guitar, and things like that. There might be an update for this device that actually allows all of those features to pop up. I won't be surprised about that, but for right now, this is everything that comes with it in terms of sound effects. But keep in mind, it is an open ear design, and it's actually meant for you to be able to hear everything around you. So that rich quality sound that you would normally get with Soundcore buds that go directly into the ear, you are forfeiting that a little bit with these type of buds. Now, when it comes to the controls right here, you have the left side, and of course you have the right side, and it highlights up top which one is which, as you can see. These two things cannot be adjusted. So whether it's the left or the right bud, you cannot change the cause, but you can change the single press, the double press, and the press and hold. I'm a little surprised that this doesn't have triple press, but triple press might be a lot for someone that has this on their ear clip. You don't want it to just fall off. It's going to take a little bit of time for you to get used to pressing the button on the back behind your ear, but the good thing is that it's a physical button rather than a touch button, so there's no accidental presses. So single press, the options are volume up and down, pause, play, next, previous, and voice assistant. Now when we do double press, actually same thing, everything's the same. Nothing changes, and with press and hold, you only get volume up, volume down, and voice assistant. So it looks like when it comes to double presses and single presses, the play, pause, next, and previous are only in the single presses, while the press and hold only has volume up, volume down, and voice assistant. So personally, I would leave voice assistant to volume up and volume, voice assistant, that one. I'm going to go ahead and do single press for volume up and double press for volume down. I prefer where each bud can do things separately. You know what I mean? So this is how I personally do things. But for a person out there that just wants to change it the way they want to, by all means, go ahead. There's no right or wrong answer. Don't feel bad about, you can even turn it off if you want to and press none, where these touch controls are basically rendered useless. If that's how you feel, do what works for you. And again, single press is the answer and double press is to hang up. I appreciate that because before I did fumble a little bit on the touch controls. I wasn't the best at it. And so I just used to pull out my phone. But now that I have the physical button, I like that. Let's see. Next one, we have the dual connections, which we already talked about in that section. So I need to show you that again. You have a little battery prop. Now, what this does is it'll actually let you know, I guess you can't tap into it. It'll let you know when your battery is low. And that's pretty much it. You have the option to turn it off. Though my suggestion is to keep it on, because if you leave these buds on, what I notice is that they're so comfortable, in my opinion, that I just leave them on for long periods of time throughout my work shift. And I forget that the bud is in my ear at times. So whenever I get a low prompt, which I do get low prompts more on this one than the C30i's, because I believe this has the worst battery life than the C30i. Though I have the case right next to me, so I can just pop it back in. It's not a big deal to me. And lastly, we have the firmware update. Now, you are going to need to do the update when you get these buds, but as of right now, me reviewing this video, it's at 101.28. It may update again by the time that these buds release, but at the end of the day, I'm not too sure about that. I'm not familiar with how Soundcore does their updates and things, but that's pretty much the entire application itself. Like, there's nothing else to really talk about. It's very simple, it's very simplistic, and if you follow this guide right here, I basically walked you through everything. You should have no problems with actually giving yourself the full customization of this application. We need to talk about right now are the 4 customizable, well, technically it's 5, but we're just going to talk about 3D sound, the volume booster, bass booster, and Soundcore Signature. Let's start with the top one. Soundcore Signature is like most of the buds where the highs, the mids, the lows are pretty balanced for the most part, and it's balanced along with the bass so it doesn't feel like certain instruments are overpowering others. Now, the downside to this particular profile with this headset is that the max volume isn't the loudest that it could possibly be. So some people may unbox these, walk outside, walk around their house and feel like it's lower than the headset that they're normally used to using, and you would be absolutely right in that regard. But there is a way to make the volume louder, and we're going to get to that in a moment. And when it comes to bass, all the vocals, the highs, the mids, the lows, kind of take a back seat and are lowered while the bass is actually higher. So again, it does affect the max volume. But for the person out there that like listening to rap songs, rock songs, it feels like they want that extra oomph for the open ear design. Believe it or not, even at max volume, it does not suffer when it comes to stutters or lags or sound leakage, in my opinion. And this is a person that has been blasting this at 100%, walking around my job, using it constantly, phone calls and things like that. It can cause an earache, like a headache, not an earache, but a headache if you have it too loud and you're not accustomed to it. So my suggestion is still obviously to listen to things around the 70% tile, the highest, maybe 80% at highest. Anything higher than that is at your own risk. But at the end of the day, these are significantly lower than, let's say, the P40i's because it is an open ear design. So the moment noise or outside noises are a factor, you're going to notice that they're not as loud as they seem to be. Again, open ear design. Now, this is my favorite profile right here, volume booster. I love this profile. What this does right here is that all the instruments that we talked about are turned up higher by maybe 20-30% or so. I don't know the exact percentages because I'm not a audiophile, but I'm not too sure about that. But the volume is so much louder. It sounds a lot more richer. And be honest, I've been listening to a lot of R&B songs. I've been listening to, I don't know if you guys remember the E3 trailer or whatever it was, the Death Stranding. There's a lot of different songs that I listen to, and the smoothness of those songs, the quality, the instruments playing and everything, it meshes so well. And granted, the volume is louder than the bass in this regard. The bass still doesn't take a back seat. It still sounds good. It actually complements everything that happens with the songs that you're playing. Now, for example, obviously, if you're listening to someone like Lamb of God or listening to Korn or someone, the instruments are going to play very well, and the bass is going to take a slight back seat if you use volume booster. But if you can't compare it to Soundcore Signature, I'm telling you, a lot of people are probably going to like volume booster better. But again, that's just my ears. Your ears might be entirely different. Now, when it comes to 3D sound, I don't think that this is necessarily for everybody. Having sound bounce off at certain points on the buds may be annoying from time to time. But if you're in a quiet environment, you're just sitting down, you're doing homework, you're laying in bed, you're playing a game, whatever it is, you're going to notice that you're going to be more enveloped in whatever it is that you're doing, which I think is a really cool thing. But for everyday using all the time, I would suggest either the Soundcore Signature or the volume booster. Volume booster is definitely my favorite when it comes to this. So again, let's go over some songs that I played. I played a little couple Kevin Gates song. Tekashi 6ix9ine is my usual go-to. Trippie Redd, because I love his voice, the way he sounds. It's real melodic with the whole rocker boy rap aspect, and I think that he does very well with that. Machine Gun Kelly. Listened to a little bit of Eminem. Played Paper Moon. I tried the Gorillaz. I did Trans with Gorillaz, TRANZ, I believe it's called. And there's another song they have. I forget what it's called, but not Feel Good. I did play that one, but it was another one. White Light or something like that. I forget what it's called. But anyway, the point is I tried different genres of music to see how well this headset meshed with all of them. And I can honestly say that it performed very well, but it didn't overperform compared to, obviously, earbuds directly into the ear. So in a sense, I would call this the red mage of headphones, where it does everything correctly. It does everything right. I don't think you're going to complain about much, but it doesn't overpower some of the other Soundcore products. But again, this is made for that person that wants open ear. For the people out there that may have some issues with hearing, or they don't like things directly deep in their ear, or they don't really care for the amount of earwax buildup you normally get with regular earbuds, this is an alternative that I think is pretty good. Some people think it's gimmicky, and that's fine. It's your opinion. But I'm a firm believer that clips are the future, or some form of headphone clips are the future, especially when they get the sound profiles perfect. And Soundcore has been on the up and up with that. So yeah, I definitely like it. So here's the conclusion of how I feel about this headset. Now, I am going to use the C40i's over the C30i's because I find these to be a lot more comfortable on the ear for long periods of time. Doesn't mean I'm getting rid of the C30s. I'm obviously keeping them, but this is my go-to. Now, the battery life is worse on this particular device. I don't know why they lowered it. I don't feel like they really added more features to really justify the price tag hike. But what I will say is comfort does matter. And depending on the sales and how many people are actually buying the C30i's, I do believe that the C40i's outperform it when it comes to quality of sound and just overall loudness. So that right there pretty much sells itself. I do want to also say that this does not so far have a dedicated gaming mode. Now, toward launch, I would say that they normally do update the software some more. That might add a couple more features. So if you're watching this video on this day and the gaming mode is on there, I will do an update video about my experience with this headset in a little bit. So just kind of keep that in mind. But yeah, for the person that doesn't want to spend more money, the C30i's to me is perfectly fine. I still wear those. I still use those. If I never had the C40i's, I wouldn't feel like I'm less without, you know what I mean? Versus the C40i's, which are, to me, much more comfortable, and comfort matters. When you use a headset, you want to make sure that it sounds good, it feels good, and it has a decent battery life. And let's be honest, this has all those check boxes right there. And in addition to that, it also has that feature that allows the sound to be enhanced even more. And I do feel like the drivers do sound a little better than the C30i's. But again, they are both open ear, so kind of keep that in mind. But hey, price tag increase, if it's justifiable to you, feel free, watch other reviews. I actually suggest you watch other people's reviews that can break down the codecs and many other things that I may not have in this video. So just do your research and buy the product that best suits you. Anyway, like and subscribe like always, guys, and I will see y'all in the next video. Till then, take care. Peace.